Hi, everybody.
What's
What's
up?
up? So technically,
That's for my boy
yes.
Danny out there.
Hi,
I
Bat
had
Mike. Hi, Se Wong. Hi, Harry. So yes, the reason we are late is because it's okay.
blame it
It's
on the rain. There's no
it's
rain.
it's kind of my fault. But so last Friday, I had After Dark playing on my computer, and my youngest also like during that show came to start playing on my computer, and I forgot it had the show on. And then I remembered the second topic, which was not for kids, and my son sitting here playing on my computer. And I'm like, oh no. And I run to the back bedroom, like run back here to my office. And he looks at me and goes, they're
He says,
saying
"Mommy, who's
word.
Richard?"
Van, turn your mic. Can you turn your mic down? I mean, I can turn it down actually myself
Yeah.
on here.
Well,
Okay, I
thank
turned it
you.
down a little bit. Yes, you're welcome. And so he was like, they're saying bad words. So I muted the website so like he could still play games. I'm not muting the whole sound. I forgot that I still had the website muted. So I'm like, Van, I can't hear you. And I was like, wait, and then Force came in for sound check, and I was like, wait, it's me. It's not Van, it's
It's
me that
you.
has the problem.
I know. I'm
Oh
sitting
my
here
fault.
running through all my stuff because typically 9 times out of 10, the problem's going to be me.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So hello, sir. How I just saw you like an hour ago.
I know, huh? This is
Yes.
it's like our fifth time in the same room together.
Yeah, ever since April, only 5 times. Only 5 times in the same room. So we had a week where we didn't have a show last weekend.
Sorry
Uh,
for that, everybody. We had our guest had an emergency and had to leave like a couple hours before show. So it
mhm.
is not typically our nature to just drop shows. We are here every week, except for sometimes holidays if it falls on a holiday.
Yeah, it just
You know,
depends.
just it kind of depends.
Um,
But want to apologize for last week. I also had a friend that was in the hospital in Reno. So I actually was going to be broadcasting last week from the hospital room. Um, but then our guest called in a couple hours before show and said that they couldn't make it.
mhm.
Usually, if I have like 24 hours, I can scramble and find another guest to
We only
fill
had a
in.
few hours, and you were going to be driving. You're at the hospital. It was just a little too nuts, and so that's happens. It happens
Stuff
to shows.
happens.
So anyway, first topic of the day is our nerdy news. Yeah.
Woohoo! Nerdy
So
news!
nerdy news, everybody. Okay. In the news for tonight, Black Panther Wakanda Forever red carpet premiere live stream. You can actually watch it. And
Wow!
yeah, so this is the information about it and in the description below. Hello Alibi, how are you?
No, that's you know
Um
what? That's ability TV. Really cool. Actually, I messaged
Ability
that
TV.
person.
Okay.
If
I
you could
can't read.
message me back on Facebook, that'd be fantastic. Because I want to book this person to interview them. They do a show about differently abled people,
Oh my
doing
goodness.
different sports and things like
Oh,
that.
that makes me so happy.
Yeah, so I would
Um
definitely love to talk to you.
Ability TV, you can just email Kyber Cave Productions at gmail.com. We do have an email that you can send a message to for booking as well.
Hi there.
Um, Anyway, so okay, Wakanda Forever red carpet premiere. You can watch the live stream. The link in the description sends you to the article that discusses it and tells you all about it.
Woohoo.
Um, and so I thought that was really cool. It's very exciting. We already bought our tickets to see it. We're
Wow.
gonna see it on the 12th, which is the Saturday night date night that we get. We get it every week.
Oh.
I know, oh, Mr. Mezzo and Miss Mezzo.
Yeah. As
um,
I'm sure he likes to be referred as.
And Ability TV, I use a mobility aid. I've had several foot surgeries, and I have a general condition myself. So seeing, um, the different abilities and people who are differently abled doing things makes me excited
And we
in my
actually
heart.
had God, I wish I had my book here, but we did an interview. We went out to a battle in Arizona about 2 years ago, and one of the gentlemen that was on one of the opposing teams was in a wheelchair.
Okay.
And so I actually interviewed him for the show and asked him about sabering as it relates to being in a wheelchair. And it was a fantastic interview. That's God, we've been doing this show so long, I don't even remember like shows from past, like what episodes they were. But we have had a saberist who was in a wheelchair interviewed
That's
on this
cool.
show before.
That's cool. That makes my heart happy. Next is Black Adam was released.
Yes.
And I actually saw it last night. I got to see it usually like quicker than I get to see releases and such.
Right. And your thoughts without spoiling.
Without spoiling, of course. I enjoyed it. It was the kind of expected DC superhero movie.
Very dark. I mean, like the shot very darkly.
Well, it had a lot. So many of the superhero movies in general have the action sequences where it's like slow motion.
Right.
And I think it's trying to let you see everything. But so many of them use it so much in the movie that you're like,
right.
Let's go through the action scene, every single motion.
Right.
Slow motion. But the story was fun, you know. Yeah, so like the Rotten Tomatoes gave it 40%, but the audience meter was 90%. So it's just one of those ones where the critics and the audience don't agree. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Right.
It was fun. I don't get like mad about movies not being good necessarily because I just they're movies.
Right.
And when it comes to the big aspect of life, getting angry at a movie not being good is just.
I have heard that it's not a bad movie. It's a good movie, but it's a typical, superhero movie. Don't expect anything too dramatically different or, out of the box. Just your standard, typical.
Yeah, and it was fun, and I mean, in a way, you could say predictable, but still fun either way. It's originally supposed to be R-rated. I don't know necessarily if it had become R-rated, like if they had things in there that would make it R-rated. I don't know if it would necessarily be any better.
Right. Probably would have been cursing or more blood or something like that.
Yeah, there was. I can't remember if there were actually any bad words in it. Really, my favorite character of all was Pierce Brosnan because I love Pierce Brosnan too. So
he plays Dr. Fate, right?
I grew up with him as my Bond. Yeah, he was Dr. Fate.
Yeah, so that is the DC equivalent of Doctor Strange. Moon's Custom Armory. What is up? I found out is an installer up in Canada. So I learned that because Moon won a saber from us like 2 weeks back. Well, not from us, from Dark Wolf.
I remember when they won it. I remember.
Yeah, so I messaged Moon. So if you're up in Canada and need your saber installed, contact that guy. And apparently his name is Jeremy.
All right, so next we have James Kaiser brings us our flow of the show every week. Without further ado, James Kaiser, thank you so much. Here's our flow of the show, Patryck Burdecki.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Yes, fire.
Those flame blades are epic.
Yeah,
that's a new Profi style.
Oh my god. I was totally not trying to fix my lipstick during that and then made it worse. I'm like drawing. For those who don't know, I'm completely numb on this side. You probably didn't even know that. I'm completely numb. And
like
putting on Like I don't feel anything here.
Oh
And
wow.
so putting on lipstick is kind of rough.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh
Anyway, so
well.
thank you, James Kaiser, for bringing Patryck
Woo!
Burdecki. The link down below to that video is there so you can find out more about him.
I love those fire spinners, man. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I enjoy it very much.
Yes. So hey, I want to remind people that we have a Patreon page. We've had I want to thank everybody who is signing up. Duffy, somebody with the last name of Duffy was our last person. So
Jenny Huff.
Oh, Jenny, not Huff. I said Duffy, Huff. Jenny Huff, thank you so much for being our latest Patreon. You can subscribe for as little as $1, and you will be in. You'll get all kinds of exclusive gifts, including for May 4th every year we are giving away 5 sabers, including one that will be a one-of-a-kind, specially etched and powder-coated. Nobody else on the planet will have this saber. Graveyard, what is going on? And also, Matt, howdy, howdy. Thank you for tuning in. Currently, we have one person, and that's actually Graveyard, who's at that Super Saber level. So unless anybody else gets in, I guess Graveyard is automatically getting a dope saber next year.
Yeah, for those who don't know, in the tiers, in the family tier, you can sub to that tier, and once you're sub to there for 3 months or more, you can be entered into a special one-of-a-kind saber giveaway.
That is right. That is right. Now, at the Friends tier, we also are giving away 4 other sabers, but they're not, like, specially etched and all that stuff. They're still cool sabers. But even at the lower levels, we have stickers and chopsticks and all kinds of fun stuff. So if you are not subscribed...
What was that first thing you said about stickers?
Stickers and chopsticks?
It sounded like you said a bad word in stickers with it. And I was like,
I don't think so.
Here's my rock eyebrow for distance nerding. That's my rock eyebrow. Oh. I make that face too. I'm a kid. I'm like,
all right.
I'm not going to be fixing my lipstick during the interview. Oh my gosh.
So I have I'm going to an event after this at 8:30 called the Paranormal Circus. So I'm hoping we can get wrapped up as close to 8 or 8:15 as we can tonight.
All right.
So I can go see the circus.
Okay. Well, without further ado, we have our guest tonight, Fourzze FX. You guys have probably seen him before. He is an After Dark host, and he is our newest gaming host, playing The Last of Us as of late. So without further ado, Fourzze FX.
What's up?
What's going on, dude?
I think it's so funny. Like you're just a man of all these talents now. I know you as a phenomenal font maker, but apparently the new thing is the gaming master over here.
Master, okay. Master of not hitting anything.
You're a stormtrooper. Who knew?
Oh my god.
That's how you get ahead in life.
Boom, boom.
Oh.
So what is going on, my friend? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing extremely well, all things considered. Just wrapped up today, like literally an hour ago, episode 4 of my Last of Us playthrough for the Kyber Cave.
Woohoo!
And that is going to be the very first episode that's going to feature a Kyber Cave family member on it's not a stream, on the recording with me.
Right.
That's our family member Aubrey.
Your Kyber wife.
My Kyber Cave wife. She's freaking outstanding and such an awesome actress, singer, person,
gamer.
She
does that. She's another person that does everything. Saber fighter, sword fighter.
Yeah.
Say Wong is reminding. I think it's probably for me more than you, but this is not After Dark.
Fours manages to keep things PG-13 everywhere he goes.
Right, and I can't manage to keep it PG-13 only when it's not needed. So, anyways, so much to talk to you about. There is so much that you're doing right now. You've got the gaming channel, the gaming stream over on Kyber Cave. You've got, I think, a couple of podcasts. You've got Usual Suspects and then All the Spice, correct?
Yeah. So the boys over at Usual Suspects, we keep our chat 24/7. We're always communicating.
Right.
We haven't streamed in a good while, only because a lot of guys have been going on vacation, taking a break, just dealing with life, which, it's to be expected.
Right.
And then Repulse Collectibles and I have been doing All the Spice, which is on the Helmet Fire YouTube channel, and we just talk gaming, nerd stuff, tech stuff, whatever.
Right. So All the Spice is tech and gaming. Usual Suspects is more driven around fonts, correct? Correct?
It's driven around Star Wars and Star Wars, fonts, sabers, that sort of stuff. It's just friends chilling out, hanging out.
Is the Usual Suspects, because the couple of times that I've seen it, you've had, I don't know if everybody on there was a font maker or if it was just several of the people on there were font makers.
We have a really good mix of folks. Like, I think last time we were on, we had Juan Sith on as a guest. Outstanding veteran of our community. Harry Solo Fonts, outstanding gentleman, outstanding font maker, super creative, and just funny freaking guy. Jeremy, Moon's Custom Armory, who is legendary. Absolutely legendary. Matter of fact, the saber I use in all of my demos, he installed.
Wow.
And he modeled this after the first saber you get in the Old Republic MMO. Button and all, weathering, everything. Like, he did this.
Wow.
And yeah, so.
That is a gorgeous saber. By the way, look at the comment that's on the screen right now, speaking of fonts.
No bad words, Van?
Nope. No, not that one. The one that I have up right now, Spaceballs fonts.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think this person knows who you are and what you do, that you actually have a Spaceballs font.
I have a Spaceballs sound font called Over My Helmet, which got an update. So now, if you install the font on your saber, there's actually an upside and a downside, because, there's an upside and a downside to every Schwartz.
Right.
But also, Juan Sith in our community just released his Spaceballs font, and he's got some stuff on there, some additional like quotes and stuff that I don't have.
Right.
And his take on the hum and the clashes, it's a little different from mine. So it is worth owning both. He is a veteran. Please show him your art, show him your support. Outstanding, legendary font maker. So, but yeah, man, it's good stuff. It's real good stuff.
Would you say that our font makers in the community in general, do you all tend to like talk to each other and collaborate, or is it I know in the bigger saber community sometimes things can be a little bit cliquish, but it seems like, I mean, you're obviously promoting other font makers.
There are font makers in the community that have all of my respect. If I can give a special shout out right now, I would give a shout out to Juan Sith, Harry Solo Fonts, Reaver's Arsenal, BK Saber Sounds, Repulse Collectibles. Top of the list. Those guys are top of the list for me. Just outstanding, cool individuals. A lot of fun to talk to and hang with, and yeah,
right.
Man, but again, it's Saberland. Not everybody's going to get along. It's just the way it is,
Right. But even like Juan Sith, I know for a fact we sell TXQ sabers, and I was just talking to the owner of TXQ, and he said that they just recently bought a bunch of fonts from Juan Sith for their next upgrade on their board. So a lot of times you may have heard Fourzze's sound, Saber fonts or Juan Sith or some of these other people, and you may not even know who you're listening to.
Yeah, and it's always good to go into your micro SD card and check the readmes on each of the fonts if they have one, and it'll tell you, who done it.
Who done it? Who done
Who
did
done
it?
it?
All right. Does that make it well, okay, so wait. You're saying when you plug in your Saber, right? Like if I plug it in to download more fonts, then it'll read your name and tell me the name of the font on there? That's or originally when you buy it.
So when you get your sorry, Jeremy, I gotta undo this thing. So when you have your SD card, okay, I'm gonna show it to you right now. You see
Right.
the SD card right there?
Yes.
That pops in and out. When you plug that into your computer, you can put more fonts on there. More fonts.
More fonts.
And when you open it in your computer, there should be, if the font maker was kind enough to include it, a README file in there. And that README should include the information on the person, what the font is, where to find it, and hopefully it's updated. So, but yeah, I mean, that's typically how you would get that information. And most creators in the community are very, very good about that.
James, real quick, is asking what size SD card.
Excuse me, James. Is that our sister show, Jamez?
It is. In fact, Graveyard was saying he was jealous of my lid here, and James is the person to talk to.
Yo, shout out to James and Phil for having me on Distance Nerding the other night. That was a freaking blast.
We love Distance Nerding, dude. We anytime we can do something with them, we're always hanging out with those cats.
I need a Distance Nerding shirt. But to answer the question, the one that I have in here, James, is a 16. It's a 16 gig, 16 meg, 16. 16 is the magic number.
16 is a magic number. Okay, and so, I mean, how many fonts could you put on that?
I think on this one I could put 99.
99?
Jeremy, if you're still in the comments, answer Van's question. I think it's 99 or 100, right? Or something like that.
Wow.
Because he's the one who installed this.
Wow. So that's not... And is that effects too? Or like blade effects? Or is that just sound fonts?
So I have a Golden Harvest board installed on that one. So I really haven't had an opportunity to play with the blade effects. But to be perfectly honest, I'm not one for blade effects. I like to keep my blades true to whatever the source is. So if it looked a certain way in the movie, that's how I want it to look on my Saber. I'm one of those purist type of people.
Right. James is asking, what's the average font file size? Dude, I'm not wearing my old man glasses right now, so you'll have to excuse me. I'm going to be all like this, squinting into the computer. I'm going to look like what is that guy's name? Kilroy. So what is the average font size file? Anyone know?
Oh my gosh. Hang on, let me move my wind. Thank goodness I have two monitors now, because
Matt says I think 8 is like 45 or something.
Okay, then that would be
about right. So if it's 16, that'd be 90, I guess.
Yeah. Jeremy was saying it can hold 99 plus. There you go. 99 plus.
Wow.
Average fonts. James, I'll have to get back to you on that one, dude, because I can't exactly look at the moment. I'm sorry. Shame on Fourzze.
The new boards all have lots of fonts. There was another comment up here, dude, that I wanted to address.
Yep.
I want to say, was it Matt or Moons? Here we go. Moon says Fourzze has a few that are base package for the Golden Harvest. What is that about? What does that tell?
Okay.
I mean, I know what that means, but maybe some people who aren't familiar with how fonts work or how the cards work.
When Golden Harvest version 2 became a thing, I was able to talk to the founder of the board, and he was nice enough to let me, submit 2 sound fonts to be default package fonts on there. So when you purchase a Golden Harvest Saber, you automatically get 2 of my fonts, and I believe
wow.
Yeah. So Van, I know the Kyber Cave sells a Golden Harvest option.
Yes.
So, and if you guys don't change them, then 2 of my fonts come standard, which are Daddy Issues Complete and the Classic Villain, which is my Vader font.
Okay.
Cheers
so
to
Daddy Issues. Yeah. Wow, this is going to be an interesting show. All right, Daddy Issues. I'm assuming that is a Luke font.
It totally is.
Is it a specific to like Empire or Jedi or?
That's my Return of the Jedi font.
Ah, beautiful.
No, it's impossible.
Metso, get off the screen.
Holy I have never seen her with a drink in her hand before. That's for After Dark. You're on the wrong show.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And I also gave one. It's called Knighthood, which is an original font of mine. I completely forgot about Knighthood. My gosh.
Oh wow.
As a matter of fact, Knighthood, if you go to sabertech.com, where you can get like all of the downloads for the drivers and downloads for like how to use a Golden Harvest board.
Right.
That font, even if you don't buy a Golden Harvest board, you can just download it there for free. It's a free font.
Knighthood is what it's called?
It's called Knighthood.
Right. Okay. There's a question. I don't know if this is a question or
Sabertech.net, my bad.
Favorite board, the majority hold Profi and CFX.
Oh, okay. Sewong wants to know what my favorite board is.
Okay.
Currently, Golden Harvest is my favorite board. I am not a Profi user. I'm not a fan of Profi. And my buddy Chris over at the Jakku Junk Trader was installing CFX for the longest time, and the sabers that I got from him, which by the way are some of the best sabers I've ever had in my life. Thank you, Chris. All have CFX in it.
Right. Yeah, I believe I have 2 Neos, and I believe both of mine are Profi. And that wasn't preferred. I was told. Now, does it make a difference for you as a designer? Because I know on the consumer end, I was told, I don't know if this is true, I was told that Profi is more similar to, say, an Android phone, and CFX is more similar to, say, an Apple phone, whereas CFX is more user-friendly, but a lot less that you can program yourself. Everything is kind of preset, whereas Profi gives you a lot more options to kind of configure it on your own. Is that true, or am I completely off?
It's very true. Profi is an open source board. It's got so many options and so many things that you can program, but I'm telling you, you're going to be diving head first into a completely new world when you
Matt
get
says
into
Profi seems so hard.
It is, and to a lot of people it isn't. But again, you have to understand the consumer. A lot of people love the freedom that Profi grants them because they love changing out their blade styles. They love having their board do all the crazy effects, like the door melt, and like there's stuff Profi does that CFX and Golden Harvest can't. But that's okay. Because there's a board for everybody.
Right. Is there a big difference? Difference in price on those? Do you know? Or I know for Kyber Cave there really is. I mean, we're talking about the difference of $20 or $30 when you go from like a Golden Harvest to a Profi board.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what the price is between the boards currently. I do know for a fact that installers, when they are installing the Profi and they're trying to get everything set up for their customers, they're taking more time because Profi does take a lot longer to set up, especially if you have somebody who just does not know how to install sound fonts, and blade styles and whatnot, and they want their installer to get that ready for them. I'm friends with someone who was right there at the beginning of Profi, and he would tell me, he'd be like, Fourzze, there are just hours that I would be setting all these configurations and stuff up for this customer, and it is a lots and lots of work. So I really hope he made his money, providing that service. Right.
For you as a programmer, okay, so like I know if I was sorry, I was thinking as a font maker, I know that if I was programming, say, a video game, right? If I was making my own video game, I would have to make different games basically for Xbox and PlayStation and the different systems, right? Is that the same for you as a font maker when you're creating these fonts? Is it the same thing that goes to Profi and CFX and Golden Harvest, or is it like creating one for each system?
In just a minute, I'm going to throw Juan to the bone again. But let me start by saying this. Sound font creators are responsible for one thing and one thing only: preparing sound files in WAV format. That is it. That is all we're supposed to do. The different boards run the same freaking sounds.
Right.
The only difference is that they are named differently. For example, on CFX, you're going to have Clash 1, CLASH 1.
Right.
On Profi, you have the exact same file. The only difference is the name, which is CLSH01. Same file, different name.
Okay.
So that's pretty much how that works.
So you just kind of have to configure it slightly different for each one at the beginning then.
It's not even a configuration, to be honest. It's really just it's just a naming scheme. Now, I will say this. Juan Sith, God bless this guy because he's freaking amazing. I believe he has two different sabers. He's got a CFX saber and he has a Profi saber. And he has been able to identify audibly the difference between his stuff in a Profi and his stuff in a CFX. So what he does is he tweaks his files, like the actual makeup of them in his sound program, to bring out the best sound for the Profi and the best sound for the CFX. I don't know how he does it. I understand why he does it, because he loves his customers and he loves the community. And he just freaking loves what he does.
Right.
But he does sell the fonts separately, one for CFX, one for Profi, because if you think about it, he's doing double the work. So why shouldn't he charge for two different fonts? That's exactly what he did.
Right.
Excellent approach. Love one.
Hey, we have a question back here I want to get back up to. I didn't forget about you, James, but I was scrolling through. Now you can go higher, like 32 gigabyte sound card. Does it matter? Does it matter how big you go? It's just more stuff that you can get on, right?
I'm not sure. I wish I could answer this question. Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong, please. I think on Golden Harvest right now, the maximum you can go is 16 for the best efficiency. I think if you go any higher or any lower, it kind of screws with your sound. I can't say that for certain. So Jeremy's kind of my resident Golden Harvest expert.
So how long have you been making fonts?
7 years.
Wow. And do you have a background? Like, I would imagine that somebody was making fonts or was maybe had a background in music production or something like that. Do you have a background that leads you to, I guess, listen more intently to sounds?
I have a bachelor's degree in media arts. And I've always enjoyed voice acting. I've always enjoyed sound effects. I've always enjoyed the art of sound. Always. I've always had a keen ear for it, more than anything, an appreciation for it.
Right. And when you are, well, first off, do you remember making your first font?
Back in episode 77 of Saber Rattle, when we met for the first time, you asked me this question.
Oh, wow.
You did.
77.
It's 77 or 78. It's sad that I know that. No, it's not. We're best friends. I'm not going to say that's sad. It's freaking awesome. I do remember my first sound font. Now, personal sound font or business sound font?
Both.
Okay. The first business sound font I ever did was for a gentleman who reached out to me because he was getting married and he wanted a Super Mario themed font for his wife to be. And I asked him how specific he wanted it. He said, I don't want it specific. I don't want you to get creative. I want it clipped and cut right out of the game. And I told him, I said, I can't do that for you because we're just cutting and pasting. I'm gonna have to layer some things and make it, make it a little transformative because I'm not gonna just straight up sell you somebody else's work. I'm not gonna cut and paste. So I did, and I did layer some stuff, and he freaking loved it. And I think I sold it to him for like $15 because I got it done in like 2.5, 3 hours max.
Wow.
And it was just fun. It was just a fun project because, I was dipping my toes in after my first Ultra Saber, and I'm like, yeah, I think we could do this.
Right. Were you able to start, like, did you have to go and buy a bunch of software at the beginning, or were you able to start with free stuff and then upgrade yourself, or?
In the very beginning, I just ran with Audacity, which at the time and currently today is free sound software.
Woo.
Absolutely.
So anybody really could, I mean, at least start and get their toes wet as well.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, on After Dark the other night, we had a gentleman by the name of Dr.
Sabers.
I think that's who it was, and he reached out to me via the Discord and asked me how to get started, and I answered him the same way I'm answering you. I said the best place to start is with Audacity, and if you've ever bought a font, crack it open, take a look at how it's named, how the font maker may have done it, and see if you can't replicate that sort of file setup yourself, and then just practice.
Right.
And the most important thing I can tell anybody who wants to get into this, it's your font is done when you say it's done. Your font is complete when you say it's complete. When you're happy with it, then you're done.
Right. Wonderful. Do you sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Okay, so you were saying that was your first commission font was the Super Mario's, right? What was your first personal font?
When I bought my very first Ultra Saber, I was waiting for my first Saber Forge. No kidding. The Saber Forge was 6 weeks out. Emery sent the Ultra Saber out to me in like a week and a half.
Oh wow!
I got it. Yeah, I got it. It was an Archon version 2. That should tell you how old that is. Having 7 something years.
Right.
I enjoyed it. I thought at the time it was the coolest freaking thing. I was like, oh my God, this is better than sliced bread. Let's go. And it had very standard, George Lucas, LucasArts Sound Archive stuff on it.
Right.
And I thought it was neat, but I wanted something different because the Archon at the time was supposed to look like a big clunky Obi-Wan hilt, and I wanted Obi-Wan sounds. So I went and found Obi-Wan sounds in Audacity, and I followed the instructions on the Ultra Sabers forums on how to put the stuff in there, and I made it, and I was very happy with it. And for my buddy Matt, who bought one as well, I set his up too. But that's the very first. And dude, you got to remember 7+ years ago when you were working with the Obsidian board. I think that thing only holds like 1 hum, 3 clashes, 3 swings, and that's it. And a power on and a power off.
Is it difficult for you as a font maker to keep up with all these changes? I mean, I've been around the Saber industry for 4.5 years, and you were talking about, the difference between boards 4 years ago and what they are now. So they're constantly changing things. Does that mean that you, as a font maker, have to I kind of keep your skills up, or is it all still relatively the same for what you do on your end?
Relatively the same for what we do on our end. We've only ever had to make huge changes maybe twice. And that was with the introduction of Smooth Swing.
Okay.
And the other thing was when we changed not bit format, when we changed hertz, because we were running at 22.1 and now we're running at 44.1.
Right.
No, it was 20. I'm sorry, my bad. It was 22. Sorry, Jeremy. It was 22.050 and now we're at 44.1. So and again, easy things to switch up in your program. Super easy.
And I know we had Harry Solofonts on our show Friday night on Kyber Cave After Dark, and even he was saying that there's like another new, I guess, version of the Prophy that's going to be coming out that's so much better. And I just keep thinking like we've done everything to the Saber. What else is there to do?
Truthfully, that is up to the mind's eye of, the folks who write all this code. There's a really talented group of folks out there who specifically make blade styles, and their imaginations go so far, and they, I think, talk with these board makers, and they kind of have powwows and figure out what the next iteration of said board's going to do what, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, but yeah, people get very creative and imaginative, but for font makers, as long as we have the format and the naming scheme, we're free to make the sounds pretty much however we wish.
Right. Say Wong has a question here. Does the Golden Harvest have the same amount of vast blade styles as Prophy?
No, it does not.
No, it does not. Okay.
But they're working on it.
Would you say, from your perspective, is the difference between a CFX, a Golden Harvest, a Prophy, is it like the difference between buying, say, a Honda, a Toyota, and I don't know, not an Acura, a Mazda? I mean, are they okay? So they are really different.
They're not.
How does a consumer decide which board is best for them?
It really depends upon the consumer. Are we talking about somebody brand freaking new? Are we talking about somebody who's been in the Saber community for like more than a year? Or are we talking about the 22-year-old who's going to go to SAC Anime or some Comic-Con somewhere or MegaCon Orlando and see out of the corner of their eye, a Kyber Cave booth or a Vader's Vault booth or a Saber Forge booth and be like, oh my God, it's a lightsaber and I have $270. Let me go buy one.
Right.
And then their wives beat the crap out of them because they just spent $270 on a toy.
Right. And we have much better valued sabers than that if you find us at a booth. You don't have to spend $270. We got you for $77.
KyberCave.com, link in the description.
So, hey, actually, I think this would be a really good time if Mezzo is backstage back there. I would love to introduce or show the audience exactly what we're talking about. I think she has some video of your fonts, correct?
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
Oh, before she starts this, Van, I want you to intro this font because you really like this one.
Oh, is this the first one? Okay. Oh, wait, no, that's Juggernaut's Wrath. Okay. Yes, this is actually, so I just recently got a Saber, and I had it installed with 3 of Fourzze's sound effects, and this is my main startup one. I did not realize until I listened to it for a while that this was a Darth Malgus, I guess, but it's just such a cool dark side font in general. So this is my main, when I turn on my Saber, this is my main startup on my newest Saber. This is Juggernaut's Wrath. Oh, we got no audio, Mets.
Stupid thing. Share system audio. I'm gonna fix it.
Graveyard said, shh, don't tell my wife. Yes, Graveyard, and there's fantastic. Like I said, I have Nightmare Before Elm Street on my Saber as well. I also got Stranger Things on there. Spaceballs was Fourzze's. And I also got I'm sure we're going to talk about Scott Pilgrim. Had to have that one. That was the first one I needed on my Saber.
That's one I asked Metza to put on for
Welcome
you.
to my throne room.
Here we go.
Yes, come in close for the kill.
Wow.
I have haven't enjoyed myself this much since the sacking of Coruscant. Feel an Emperor's wrath.
See, I gotta figure out how to do that on my saber.
And with it, the old Empire.
Ooh.
I haven't enjoyed myself. Feel an Emperor's wrath. I grow weary of your company. I hear the Grand Moff is calling me Malgus the Betrayer. Tell me, did my deception sting? Feel an Emperor's wrath.
I love that. I love the crackling flame sound on that one too. Ooh.
The next one, I kind of want to introduce because not a lot of people really jumped headfirst into it.
Okay.
But it's an original that I came up with the assistance of my friend Aaron over at Shadowtech Sabers, and it's called Split. Split is the last font that I did. It was at the end of last year. I've been kind of on a small hiatus, but let me explain really quick what Split is. Split is a font that is meant for two sabers, either a staff or literally two sabers. One saber plays the font at a particular pitch, and the other saber plays the font at another pitch, but it harmonizes with the first one, and that's why it's called Split. We actually had to figure this out kind of with a guitar tuner to make this work. But hats off to Aaron over at Shadowtech for having this idea, because when it was executed, it was great. And not a lot of people dug it at first, but when they kind of get to the part where it harmonizes, they're like, now I understand.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get going on that video, there was a question there. I'm not sure who Brian is from. It says, is that Brian from KC80 doing the voiceovers for you, Fourzze? Those voiceovers from Juggernaut's Wrath come from a video game, right?
Yes. Oh, and dude, Brian, our Palpatine, our new Palpatine.
Oh, that Brian. Oh, sorry.
No, and Graveyard, let me explain something really quick. When you purchase a font from me, those quotes that you hear come in the extras folder, and the extras folder, that's something I throw in for free. That's not stuff that I throw in for purchase. That stuff is completely optional, and that's when you have like a folder full of quotes, that's my gift to you. That's kind of how that works. Yeah. So you can, when you initially start your font, you're not going to have all those voice quotes on there. You have to put them on there yourself in the extras folder that I provide you for free.
Ah, I see. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still have not learned how to use my Profi yet. All right, Mez, do we got a second? Do we have Split ready to go?
This is so neat.
Oh, I can hear the hums.
So
Ooh.
watch this.
Wow.
They sing. It's a singing font. It sings to you.
Oh, wow. That's so cool. Wow. And can imagine if you had that as a double-sided saber with both of those sounds venting through at the same time.
It is definitely a font that I would recommend for our flow artists. Absolutely.
Right.
And Metso, if you want to bring up Van's favorite.
And this next font is actually how we met and how I interviewed you the first time. I was going through font lists looking for some different fonts, and I came across this one. And this at the time, well, a couple of years before that was one of my son and I's favorite movies. So of course I have this on my saber now as well. I have this over my helmet and Juggernaut's Wrath on my saber. I love this. The Pilgrim. Oh, I love that sound. I love it.
They tore the roof off. What are you doing? Getting a life.
What about you and that girl Knives?
We had a very healthy breakup. We're all peaches and gravy.
No.
Young Neil, you have learned well. From this point forward, you will be known as Neil.
I love it.
Had a lot of fun making that one. That was a blast. That was a blast. And yes, for those who know Scott Pilgrim, yes, there is a Prion that says Scott earned the power of self-respect. It's all there. So I hope you guys, if you pick it up, it's definitely a font for the Pilgrim fans. Absolutely.
All right, we got a couple of questions up here. I'm going to hit both of them, both from James. Here's the first one. And I don't have my old man glasses, so I'm going to have you read that off.
Fours, what was your hobby or side hustle before Saber fonts? What was your first experience with sabers? How does one become a Saber Padawan? All right, I'll answer the first question. What was my hobby or side hustle before Saber fonts? Anime and video games. What was your first experience with sabers? That would be a Darth Maul lightsaber from either Hasbro or Fourzze FX from like the bookstore, like Walden Books when they used to sell them for like $110. How does one become a Saber Padawan? You go to Kyber Cave, you buy a saber, and you buy fonts from me, Harry Solo Fonts, BK Saber Sounds, and Repulse Collectibles.
Woohoo! And that is how that's done. All right, his next question is...
And what is your saber of choice? Hilt and blade.
Oh my goodness.
So my saber of choice at the moment would have to be... Of course, you realize it'd have to be my Obi-Wan hilt.
Obi-Wan. Hello there.
Hello there.
And he does a fantastic Obi-Wan cosplay as well.
And of course, if I've had enough of this saber, I've always got my Padawan's saber.
Oh.
So, yes. Those are my hilts of choice. Both installed by the Jakku Junk Trader, and both sound incredible.
Are you a Canon Saber man?
I am a Canon Saber person. My choice Canon Saber. I don't own them all. I have choice Canon Sabers.
Right.
But and as far as my direct connect sabers are concerned, it's got to be my Old Republic saber from Moon's Custom Armory.
Now, but is that a Saber Forge hilt, or is that a Moon's custom hilt?
Okay, it is a modified Gladius. Okay,
yes, I was going to say, I thought the emitter looked familiar.
The hilt itself came from Saber Forge, but Jeremy took care of the custom button. He took care of the complete install, and I think he rewrapped it and weathered it a little more too. Either way,
they do horrible weathering.
This is probably the closest thing you're ever going to get to a Padawan's saber from Old Republic, and I own it.
That's gorgeous.
I'm
very jealous.
Freaking love him for selling it to me. Oh, so outstanding.
So, Fourzze, what is in the future for you? Are you working on new fonts now, or what are you working on?
So, I'll tell you what I've been working on. So, for the past year, I have been working on my health. If you go back to episode 77, I was a little heavier than I am today. Been definitely working on my health, trying to defeat type 2 diabetes once and for all. I've already beat it twice, but old habits. So I'm trying to get it to the point where I don't take medicine ever again. Number 2, excuse me. The split was the last one I made, which was about 3/4 of a year ago, and I've kind of been dealing with job stuff and family stuff, and I became a homeowner.
Yeah, congratulations.
Appreciate you. And not to mention, I've spent a lot of time with the Kyber Cave, which I freaking love. So in addition to that, I've taken on 3 separate commissions. I took on one for one of my very good friends. He's actually in our chat on After Dark. That's Ian. You've seen the gentleman with the voices. I'm doing a Skeletor font for him.
Oh.
And for my Kyber Cave wife, I'm working on a Sailor Moon font for her.
Ooh.
And for the Kyber Cave itself, I'm working on 2 fonts, a dark side and a light side font, which, if it all works out, you'll get it from my store. But if you buy a saber from the Kyber Cave, you'll get them for free.
We are working on that right now. We are trying to figure out how to make all that happen. And we just got a new shipment of sabers in. So within the next few months, we'll get this figured out so that you can get your Fourzze FX sabers fonts directly from us and on your saber pre-installed. No extra work. And
in addition,
good. And I was going to say, and at no extra cost to the customer.
James says, Skeletor, get him, you boob. In addition to that, I've been working a lot with the Kyber Cave. They, again, kind of just to give the show and you guys a major bump. Kyber Cave has been growing by leaps and bounds. Just in the last month alone, Mezzo has been doing I feel like I've gone from guest to host now. I've got to stop it.
Well, you are a host on the other show.
Don't stop.
On a couple other shows.
Get
off the screen.
Fully integrated into the cave now, my friend.
I swear, she's whatever is in that drink. It's affecting her now.
I know. I need
gone,
some,
honey. It's gone.
It's gone from that cup straight up here.
I just need more.
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm doing.
Mezzo sure does enjoy her apple juice.
Tea.
Very, very tasty apple juice.
So I'm doing
gaming.
So I'm doing gaming with Mezzo. So she's doing the live streaming games. I'm doing pre-recorded stuff with edits, and I'm having an absolute blast doing it.
Woohoo!
I'm again doing the commissions for my friends. And again, my apologies to my friends for not being more on it, because again, I'm dealing with crap, but it's what it is. And finally, it's just kind of getting the swing of things with the health day by day and making sure that the macros and the calories are right and making sure I get that exercise in and doing what I need to do to stay healthy so that I can continue to do what I do here and in the Saber community. Absolutely.
Definitely. That's the most important thing, is making sure that you were there for not just Saber community, but for your family, most importantly.
Mm-hmm.
So, Forrest, as we are getting ready to wrap up here, is there any words of wisdom that you have for people that maybe want to get into the Saber font making end of things, or is there anything you want to let people to know to look out for from you in the next few months?
So I would say if you're looking to get into sabers, start with either a saber from the Kyber Cave, a saber from Dark Wolf Sabers, or you could go to Saber Forge, buy an empty, and then have a trusted installer, somebody reputable, somebody good, someone who's real with you, install it and be their friend. Like, the best part of the Saber community has to have been the friends that I've made, hands down. If you want to get into font making, number one, support your font makers, and if, purchase from them, show them you're serious, and then get the files open, break them down, use them as examples, and then just start building graveyard. Oh gosh, graveyard.
That's a call back to Friday show.
That's the second time I have been comment section rickrolled. That's the second time now. Second freaking time. Yeah, and make sabers and make the hobby and make fonts and make whatever it is you do something that you can enjoy with your friends, and make new friends, establish good relationships, and just be real with each other, for real. Seriously, life is too short, and there's no time for drama. Just get in there and have fun. And if you're not, if you don't roll with somebody, you don't roll with somebody. Big deal. Move on. There are so many more leaves on the trees.
That's true. That's true. Hey, James asked really quick, do you have any wrestling fonts?
I can make them. I get the feeling he's going to ask me for a John Cena font. I get that feeling. He like the hum. He just wants the hum to be da, 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 John Cena. Da, 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 da. I can see it.
Right. Mess says check your stream, Force. All right. Okay. Well, it sounds like there are a lot of people that have work lined up for you. Remember, if you would like to have your own custom font made, something that you've always had in mind, something you love, I'm thinking Goonies, man. But you can contact Fourzze, and he will work with you in making your dream come true. Or you can choose from the catalog that he has. He has an incredible how many sabers or how many fonts are in your catalog?
So that's one of the things.
See a John Cena font. Sorry.
I know. That's one of the things that changed when we had the big board change. When Smooth Swing was introduced, my catalog decreased because I only decided to make Smooth Swing files for some of my more major fonts. So right now, I have 19 available.
Right.
But if you include the commissions that I've done over the past couple of years, it's like a grand total of 27 or 28.
Oh wow! Hey, Bat Mike had a comment. I'm not sure if he had seen early in the show. When you did that Super Mario Brothers commission, was that just for one person, or was that something that they could find in your catalog?
It's not in the catalog. It was a private commission, and I swear, if I were to go back and do it again, I would probably keep it commission, but I would definitely show it a lot more love. And
well, I mean, you've obviously learned a lot more since then.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Wow. All right.
Fonts are all about being creative.
And it is so much fun. It adds such a dynamic to your Saber too, to have different fonts on there. I know when I got my first Saber, I had just the one sound font, and I thought that was going to be enough. But meeting you and getting around these sound fonts and just seeing all the fun things you can. I mean, you could have Pirates of the Caribbean or anything you can possibly imagine, there's a font maker out there that will either already has it or would be willing to make it for you, I'm sure.
I love James in the comments. I do. It's so awesome.
James with Distance Nerding. If you have not checked out Distance Nerding, make sure you do anywhere you podcast. Force, I love you to death, man. You are family. I am very thankful and very grateful that we have you. I mean, not only on Saber Rattle tonight, but on every Friday night and on other nights when you're gaming. Your gaming has been absolutely fun and incredible. And like I was telling you, it's so cool to me to watch the difference between Mezzo's live gaming and your pre-recorded, because it just gives you such different flavor. Even though they're both gaming, they're completely, it's two different animals.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's I was
I'm
telling.
so sorry. That's a bad habit to develop.
What meowing?
No, doing this.
Drinking during cast. I have nothing by me that gives me an animal style. Fours, let's discuss horror fonts at some point. Sounds like you got some commissions coming your way, my friend.
Yes, Graveyard. We will discuss that. Before we go, let me just plug a couple of things. I know we're running short on time, guys.
Yeah.
Support the Kyber Cave. Support the Kyber Cave. We are growing. We are growing. We have so many things going on, and gaming is not the only thing that's just been added. We may have some tabletop D&D happening very soon.
Yes.
We may have some multi-participant group gaming happening soon. I'm planning on getting, as a matter of fact, Aubrey and I were the very first two in our family here to get two people on a live recording so that we can comment as we play. And one of the ideas we're having is we're going to get a game kind of like The Quarry, kind of like Dying Light, kind of like a Telltale game where we're going to get 3 or 4 Kyber Cave family members on the screen, and we're all going to comment and make choices as we play. And that's something that the comment section can participate in. So that's coming.
I have a show I'm trying to figure out. I want to get Saber Battles back on our channels. Back when we had our storefront, we used to show Saber Battles every Saturday night. And a lot of people have been telling me they miss them. So what I'm trying to do is work with multiple different academies and groups around the country and around the world to send me videos every week that I could chop up and throw some music on top. I even have a name for the show. I'm very excited. The name of the show is going to be called Beatdown, because it's going to be music and saber fighting.
And the other thing you guys I want to mention is that if you become one of the Patreon contributors, you are entered for an opportunity to win a freaking saber. Like, you don't have to spend $400. You can spend $1 a month and have an opportunity, at least an opportunity, to win a saber. So consider that.
Actually, that's the $25 level a month.
$25 a month is your opportunity.
$1 a month, you get a Kyber Cave sticker. And extra, we're gonna have extra new content on the Patreon page. You'll have the ability to vote on things. What's really kind of cool about the community that we're building is we're building this not just online and on YouTube, but in the real world as well. So all of this spills from into your living room. You can meet us live at conventions that we go to. You can come down to our storefront. We are trying to make this a real community.
Absolutely. It's going to be more than just merch and sabers. It's going to be a nerd hub.
So
come join the family.
Woohoo! And hey, by the way, for people that are on right now, I have a very exciting announcements at the end of the show about guests that we have coming up. We have 2 big name guests coming up very soon that I want to announce. So don't go anywhere. Because sometimes after people see these fantastic interviews, they jump off. But I'm telling you to stick around because you're going to want to see who we have coming up. Force, my friend, I love you to death.
I love you, man.
You are always welcome on any of our shows, and I'm excited about all the new shows and new things that we are doing. You know what we should figure out? Maybe at one of those Patreon price levels, we can include a Force font or something.
Absolutely. And
that would be kind of a cool thing.
If you guys stay tuned, I don't know what part of the United States you're in, but within the next couple of hours, hour and a half, I'm hoping, episode 4 of my Last of Us playthrough will be uploaded on the Kyber Cave Productions channel. So subscribe, like, watch Mezzo, watch me, and you will see Aubrey on there playing the game with me, and it's freaking hilarious.
We are just the island of misfit toys over here, just all having fun together. All right, my friend Force. I absolutely love talking to you every time. We will be seeing you again, hopefully in a few hours on your game stream. But if not, definitely every Friday night on Kyber Cave After Dark. You were in Florida, so you actually stay up late to be with us every week. So I totally appreciate that.
Yep. So to everybody who's watching, everybody who's going to listen to this in the car on Monday, I will see you out there.
See you on the Kyber Cave. Woo! I can't hear you.
I was gone for so long. I don't know why it muted when I came back. That's weird. Forrest, also, don't go anywhere. Because after we are no longer live, we're gonna fix the issue with permissions on StreamYard.
Woo!
So, yeah. To get it so like last Friday, if the issue happens where that didn't muted Metzi is the best Metzi. Shut up, Ubi.
Wow.
I love you. Ubi there is my friend from my streaming days. I've known him for years. So we're good buds.
What's up, Ubi?
Thank you so much, Forrest, for coming on. That was fun. I'm glad. Now that I know what this SD card stuff, I was like, you need to ask him kind of how it works because I want to know. Oh my goodness. And I was going to add some. Oh, so like, Forrest, if you didn't see it in the comments, I said, if you need a Mickey Mouse voice for any of your fonts, you heard my Mickey.
Phil does a Mickey Mouse as well. Phil,
I heard Phil's. Mine is like a, hi everybody. It's me,
wow.
Mickey Mouse.
You definitely got the higher tones there.
I know the drink is down. It's gone.
Drink down, sound up.
It was just a glass of wine, guys. It wasn't much of anything. There was a time, I think it was a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, for my birthday, I did a Phasmophobia game stream and I drank whiskey the whole time.
Holy goodness.
And by the end of the stream, I was very relaxed.
I did for my birthday several years ago when I used to do spoken word poetry. For people that know me, they know that I am not a drinker at all. Like I'll have like one drink a year.
I am not a lightweight with me.
So on my birthday, we did for anybody that's familiar with slam poetry, we invented the shot slam. And what that was is whatever place you had to pull your place from the hat. So we had 10 poets hit stage, right? Everybody had to pull a number from the hat to see what number they were. So if you were number 1, that means you had to take one shot and hit the stage. If you were number 10, you had to take a shot every time the poet hit the stage. So, you might be a little more intoxicated by the time.
I have a story I could tell on After Dark, but not on here. Okay, so, moving on.
Moving right along.
Kevin Hogan, who you all know is a producer of ours, who does the convention report. So
yes.
He gave us a report, and this is last week's report. So without further ado, thank you, Kevin Hogan. Here's his report.
Hello everyone, this is Kevin Hogan from Northern California with another episode of California Comic-Con Adventures. On the weekend of Saturday, October the 8th, 2022, we went to the 11th Annual Cruise Fest in Sacramento on Fulton Avenue. They closed off the street there and had many cars on display there, and they're really in the Halloween spirit there. They had a pirate ship and giant inflatable minion on display there, and they got some creative cars on display there. For example, they had the Mystery Machine van from Scooby-Doo out there, and they even painted up some Volkswagen Beetles there, like little Batmobiles there with the Batmobile logo on the side there. Over down in Central California, Fresno was the big Fresno Fair going on there, and the Blue Shell Gaming Group was putting on the pop culture experience there with cosplayers walking around there. We saw like Bumblebee and Megatron the Transformer there walking around there. We saw some creative furries walking around there with their costumes there. Superheroes like Ant-Man, and of course the classic Star Wars characters like Boba Fett, and Stormtroopers, and others walking around there. It was a really fun time. You get a chance, definitely want to check out the big Fresno Fair when it gets in down there. Also, the Sacramento Goblin Market was going on Saturday, October the 8th there. The Goblin Market happens every few months in Sacramento. They post riddles on their website with the hints as to where they're going to be because they change locations every time there. They don't accept money for other vendors that dress up like fairies there. They exchange non-monetary things like to make you promise to do a good deed, or they'll tell stories in exchange for little things that their arts and crafts they're making there. So it's interesting there. They have neat little things there like an imaginary petting booth there for imaginary critters there. They dressed up a utility box like a wizard with a wizard cloak there. They had a book of apologies where you could write personal stories down. So there's interesting stuff going on there. Nice to check out there. And also, Ohana Comic-Con, which travels up and down the state of California in a different city every weekend, paid a visit to Elk Grove on October the 9th there. We got to see their fun cosplay contest there. Celebrity Cooley Jackson, he was in the Power Rangers Live show as the White Ranger, was there showing off some cool moves there. And we got to see lots of cool vendors showing off their cool souvenirs. So if you ever get a chance to see Ohana Comic-Con when they come to a town near you, definitely want to check them out. They're a very economical admission price and really fun to see local friends there. And for those of you interested in upcoming events there's definitely some stuff to check out there. For example, in San Diego, there's a Doctor Who Con on October the 21st through the 23rd. And also in Santa Clara at the library on October the 22nd is their Comic-Con. And also on October the 22nd in Sacramento is Sinister Creature Halloween Con. And also on October the 23rd is Roseville Comic Con at the Placer County Fairgrounds there. Well, thanks for watching.
Kevin Hogan, he was, man, even this weekend, I know he was at Sinister Creature Con and like one or two other cons this weekend. That man is all over the place.
Yeah, they're everywhere. He goes everywhere. I was reading Graveyard's comment. Yeah, Graveyard Ubi knows. So he's watched me for. That sounds wrong. He's watched me for quite some time.
Wow.
He watched me from like almost the very beginning of my streaming career. So,
fantastic. So hey, I would like to make a special announcement right now. I am super excited. Thank you to our fabulous producer Mezzo. We have one of our biggest guests coming on in a few weeks. First off, before that, okay, we don't have next week lined up. I will have a guest. Obviously, we'll have a show here next week. The week after that, for those of you in the Saber community, you are going to love this one. We have one of the original OG Saber makers. He is well known. He makes the Bane Saber, which if you are in the Saber community, that is what we call a unicorn saber. It is a very rare saber that is known. Actually, that's probably more of a legacy saber. It's a rare. It's a rare saber. Mute your mic.
Sorry, I just realized I forgot to mute it.
A rare saber that is very well known in the saber community. He also makes the Bad Axe, which is another saber that a lot of people love. So that is in 2 weeks. But in 3 weeks, we have Tommy Beckstall of the New Rockstars. If you guys watch New Rockstars on YouTube, they have over 1 million. I don't even know how many subscribers they have.
Almost 4.
They have 4 million subscribers. 4 million. I know I watch New Rockstars every day to get all my updates on Marvel and all the new Star Wars stuff. So I'm like flipping my lid, excited. And he's going to be here, like, it's going to be right next to his birthday, so we get to sing happy birthday to him.
Aubrey, you should have Aubrey come on and sing happy birthday.
Yes. Aubrey's.
Tommy still owes him his mattress. That's good. All right. Well, thank you, Kevin Hogan, for that report.
Thank you, Kevin.
Do we have any more? So okay, I asked Van if he'd like to do a little fun trivia thing for the 30th. Do you want me to put that in order?
Sure. Well, we can throw up a poll and see yeah.
For those who have not heard of it, there is this fun service called Kahoot. A lot of teachers use it, but we use it just for fun. You can use it. It's a trivia game that everyone can take part in, and it's free to enter. So I will make a trivia game for Halloween. And what you'll do is you can either open the Kahoot app on your phone, or you can just open kahoot.it, and you just put in the game code and you enter in the game. You can play it from a browser, whether it be a browser source on your phone or on your computer, whichever one. You can play from there. So I'll send an announcement out on the Facebook page explaining kind of how Kahoot works for those who just weren't able to watch tonight and want to be able to watch next week and join in on the fun. I'll have the screen. Van will join too because he won't know what any of the answers are ahead of time. I mean, he really won't know any. I'm just kidding.
I probably won't.
I only had one glass, but when I drink, I just like decide to let myself go. Yeah, it'll be Halloween trivia, and then there is a possibility that we'll have a nice scary video to react to on Friday for After Dark, not as a topic, just for fun.
Okay, yay!
Just to enter, because we've already done ghosts and things like that were kind of scary, and this is kind of similar to that, but It is not a video I made. It's someone's YouTube, and I asked for permission first, even though technically, from what I know, you don't need to have permission for a react, but I'm not certain, so I'm just going to ask permission just in case.
It's always better if you can. Fair use laws, but It's always better if you can get it.
So guys, don't forget to tune in on Wednesday morning. I will be gaming with Aubrey. We'll be playing Phasmophobia. Woo-hoo. I'm hoping that we'll get to play with Forrest too, because they can actually have 4 people on a team.
Wow.
And then we'll figure out the tech aspect of it all. So that will be really fun. That's 10 a.m. Pacific, and then Friday nights it's 8 p.m. Pacific, not 7. Tonight 7. 8 p.m. Pacific is our After Dark show. 18 plus age recommended due to adult content and adult topics and adult language that is allowed on the show.
On that show, not this one.
Yeah, don't forget to look out the uploads of Forrest playing The Last of Us. Part 4 is coming out tonight, I believe.
Woohoo!
Choking my own spit. And don't forget to check out in the description Forrest's website, as well as the Flow Artist link. Without further ado, we have our TikTok of the town.
Thank you all for tuning in. We love being with you every Sunday night. We're again sorry we missed last Sunday night, but we will be here next Sunday and at least the next 3 Sundays after that because we already got those people booked.
All right. Bye, everyone. Good night.
Peace.